go. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Stylistpreneur Podcast. I am your host, Damali Fils, and today we have with us Jessica Patton. She is a business coach for beauty professionals, hairstylists, and salon owners. Jessica, come on in the room. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. How are you doing?
Jessica, I am good. It's cold here in Chicago, but that's okay because it's not snowing. So I'm totally fine with that. How about you?
Yeah, we're good. It's like no snow right now, so I'm loving it.
Right. Yeah. So, Jessica, tell us all about you, what you do, how you got started with helping beauty professionals. We would really love to know your story.
Yeah, for sure. So I'll kind of take you back to when it all started. So
Okay.
right out of high school, I dove into hairstyling. I graduated, got my diploma, and
Hmm.
then right after that, I moved to a new city. So it was like a whole new city, a whole new profession that I was doing. So I jumped in and I had done it for a while and it just was like, when you just start and you're like, it's so overwhelming anyways.
Oh, yeah.
And then being in a new city too, it was just like too much. So I
Too
took a step
much.
back. I went back to school for my business admin,
Okay.
graduated in that. I went into corporate, was working in corporate for 13 years in accounts
Okay.
payable, which is like so boring compared
Right.
to the hair industry. So once I had my daughter, I had really thought like I really want to do something that I can create my own schedule, do my own thing. So
Hmm.
I started off as a virtual assistant, which
Okay.
was really cool. It was really neat to dive into all the other industries and see like what people's pain points were, where they were
Hmm.
kind of struggling. And that's where I got started in the business coaching, business consulting, because I could
Hmm.
really see where people were struggling in their businesses. And
Right.
I knew that there was an easier way for businesses to run, especially as a solopreneur. You're doing all the things by yourself. It's
Oh, yeah.
tough. So I just wanted to create something that made business work smarter and not harder, make it
Hmm.
easier for people to run their business and do their clients and focus on that. So that's kind of my story.
Okay, that's awesome. Now, I know you said, you work with a few different types of businesses, and although your background started with the beauty professional, how did you say, okay, I'm just going to focus on beauty professionals?
Yeah, so it's funny that it took me so long. I've loved the industry for so long. Like when I
Hmm.
was in it, it just felt like home. It was just so nice to be a part of that industry. It's so amazing. Everybody's
Hmm.
so creative, so kind and warm and welcoming. So when I got into consulting, when you talk to everybody, you talk to nobody. So I was like, okay,
Hmm.
I need to niche down. So it's like the health and wellness industry. I love that, but you still
Hmm.
need to niche down more because there's so many people you're talking to.
Exactly.
So yeah, so it just brought me back to, well, hairdressing, obviously. Like, I love the industry. I would love to be able to help people, going into their business, going independent, salon owners. If I can help them create a business that's, running smoothly and it's not
Hmm.
so overwhelming, that would be a dream. So that's how I got
Right.
back into the industry.
Yeah, and you're still servicing people, whether, it's not
Yeah.
directly behind the chair, but you're still helping clients, you're still helping hairstylists, which I absolutely
Yeah.
love. And that's the whole concept of this podcast. It's just, I know there's no clear roadmap for hairstylists or salon owners. So, like, hey, who can I talk to? Who can I have as guests to help out all of our fellow hairstylists? So it's like amazing that you're here today to help us with this.
I love that. I love that so much. And it's so, so needed. So I love
Right.
it.
Now, with helping all these hairstylists and beauty professionals, what would you say is one of the biggest challenges that they have with business?
Yeah, honestly, they are doing all the things, and
Mm-hmm.
especially when you go independent, you start your own business, there's so
Right.
many hats you need to wear. So if you can really figure out a more streamlined way to do things or a way to make things easier for you, it's gonna make it feel so much better to be in your business. So I really think the overwhelming part is just all the hats you have to wear, plus dealing with the clients on a daily basis.
Right. Yeah, I think people don't realize, like, as an independent stylist, which now, everybody works in a salon suite. So it's like everybody wants to be their
Yeah,
own boss, but people
yeah.
don't realize, like, you have to do the marketing, you have to do the finances, the management, the social media. Let's not even start
Right.
there, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you've seen some of those funny Instagram videos where it's just like, I'm this, and that. Like I'm wearing 10 hats.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people are starting to see the benefit of having, somebody to help them manage their business. So
Oh,
like,
yeah, it's huge.
it's you need a partner. Although you want to
Yeah,
be independent, you want to be your own boss, you need some help. You can't do it all by yourself.
Yeah, and just to have somebody have your back and who has
Mhm,
maybe done that or knows has the tools for you to run your business in a more smoother, automated way, it's worth
mhm.
the money tenfold.
Gotcha. And I always suggest people like, take a day out during the week to like manage your business. What are some
Mhm.
principles, some key principles that we can incorporate as independent stylists and salon owners to manage our business?
Yeah, so whenever I work with my clients, my VIP days, my courses, all that stuff, I run them through the 5M method. So what that
Okay.
is we go through mindset, which is a huge one in business. One of the biggest things is working on your mindset,
Right.
working on your momentum, which is goal setting, really creating that focus of what you want to get to, your future
Mm-hmm.
vision. Money is a big one, budgeting and knowing where your money is going, where it's coming from, all that kind of stuff. Working on your marketing, which is a
Mm-hmm.
beast in itself.
Right.
There's so many different pieces to that. Email marketing is something I love to teach on because it is so beneficial to have that. Social
Okay.
media, how can we streamline that and make it easier for you to be able to post on social media? And then business management. So what does your time management look like? What is your team management if you have a team? All of that kind of stuff. So I think
Right.
those 5 pillars for sure are so helpful to know, there's all different features in within those, but I think those are the 5 main features for sure.
No, I think that's awesome. And I know, when we move into these spaces, we want to be our own bosses. One thing that we kind of think about is finances, but I don't think we
Yeah,
really, get down to the nitty gritty. I don't think we're really doing budgets or, a projection of what I'm going to do this year. I think we're just making money.
totally.
So when it comes to the finances, what are some things that we can do to make sure that we're good in that area?
Yeah, I think like a budget for me is my love language. Like I
Right?
think it's so important to know like what you need to survive. Like what is your, monthly income that you need?
Mm-hmm.
Start with that, your personal budget. What are you spending? What are you saving? All that. And then your business budget too. Like what are the expenses that you have on a monthly
Right.
basis? What are all the things that you need to know that's coming in and going out in your business? And another thing that I love too is using the profit first method. It's
Okay.
an incredible method that you can use, and it's all by percentages. You know what's coming in, but then you save a certain percentage for taxes, for
Mm-hmm.
expenses, for your owner's pay, and then you put a little aside for your profit as well. So it's just nice to have all that clear out in front of you. You put in a couple of numbers, and then it gives you the
Mm-hmm.
number that you have to save. So it's not like, oh, I know I should be saving for taxes, but this month was a little bit hectic, or things came up, but no, you have the set amount and that's what you're putting away on a monthly basis. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that's so beneficial just to have those
Right.
numbers in place.
I agree. And I also think, it's unfortunate, but it's not something that's was stressed in beauty school.
Oh, at
Unless you
all.
like learned it, on your own at a
Yeah,
trade show. There's one of those things that they teach how to do your hair, but they don't necessarily teach how to do business.
100%.
Right. So yeah, I think that's amazing. And that brings me to another big thing,
Mhm.
pricing. Okay.
Mhm.
We don't know how to price ourselves.
Yeah,
Stylists, it's kind of like, okay, the girl next door is charging this, or the girl online was charging that, or, I'm working at the salon, so they charge that. But like when it
yeah.
comes to pricing your services, what are some tips for that?
For sure. So I think it is really looking at what your expenses are, and this comes back
Mm-hmm.
to the budget. Knowing
Mm-hmm.
what you need on a monthly basis,
Mm-hmm.
having those in place, having that number, so you know, okay, I need to make at least this a month, plus my expenses, plus my taxes. If you know that number, then you can price your services according
Mm-hmm.
to that.
I
So
agree.
right? So it's knowing those numbers is huge, and then making sure you are giving yourself a raise, like increase your prices maybe on a yearly basis.
Right.
People expect it. Inflation is crazy. So, other people, their prices rise all the time. So, making sure that you don't feel resistance to that, you just know it's part of business and, price increases are coming. But knowing that number of what
Okay.
you need to survive is huge.
Right. And I agree. Like, I want to say maybe when I'm in my first or second year of being a hairstylist, and I've been a stylist now forever,
Mhm.
that was the advice that a mentor gave me. Like, Damali, how much do you need to make per year? You need to
Yeah.
know those numbers in order to move forward. Because if not, you may or not. make the money that you need. But if you have that ideal number, if you have those goals set in place, then you can move forward, right?
100%, because you need to know what you need to make on a monthly basis. If you're
Hmm.
close to hitting it, if you're too far off, and then you know the steps that you need to take within that month. Okay, I need to ramp up my
Exactly.
marketing. I need to get more referrals. I need to send an email out to get more bookings. You know
Right.
what you need to do if you have that number.
I agree. Now, you mentioned marketing. What are
Yeah.
some things that stylists can do, salon owners, in order to market themselves, their business, in order to attract the clients that they want?
For sure. So this one is a little bit of like not a taboo, but people are just like
Right?
very resistant to it. But honestly, it is showing up in your business, showing who you are. You know, you
Hmm.
don't have to be going on lives or even talking in stories if that feels
Right.
uncomfortable, but taking those small steps to show your face, to show
Hmm.
who's behind the chair, who's behind the business, because you want to create that know, like, and trust factor for yourself and your clients. They want to know who they're working with when they come sit in your chair.
Right.
So as much as, the before and after pictures are showcasing your work, you wanna
Hmm.
show who you are to create that. So
Right.
it's a little bit of mix of both. And what I would say too is, like, if you're like just a nervous or like kind of shy about showing up,
Yeah.
just take those small steps. Maybe just take a selfie and say what you're doing that day,
Right.
or just like showcasing a behind the scenes, or just taking those small steps. And every time you do something, it gets easier. So
I
maybe
agree.
maybe try like talking on stories one time. See how it feels. You can
Yeah.
always redo them, but then it gets easier as you go and it's not so terrifying and
Hmm.
people want to see you. It's not like they're over on the other side like judging you. It's, "Oh, this is who this person is and I want to know more about them." So I think just
Exactly.
really putting yourself out there is so huge.
I definitely agree. That makes me think of a young lady I went to beauty school with, and I just know that this girl would be booked just based on her personality. Because she had
Yes.
such an amazing, bright,
Oh,
big, fun personality. Like her and her dad would dress up for like carnivals and stuff as a
oh,
clown or
fun.
something, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I would definitely agree with just putting out there. And that way you're gonna attract your tribe, right? The people that are like you, the people that you can relate to. So I
Yeah.
definitely agree with that. And I tell people all the time, like my clients are like my friends and family. Like we're
Yeah.
girlfriends by the end of this appointment.
For sure, and that's how you
Right?
can showcase and that's how you can get your ideal clients in your chair, the people that you
Hmm.
wanna work with, because 'cause they're gonna align with you if they see you and know your personality, like, that's how you're drawing in your people, so, yeah, I just think
Exactly.
it's so important.
Exactly. And I know online is such a big factor right now, but there's still some things we can do offline, right?
Yeah, for sure. I think this is where I love things like email marketing. I think
Hmm.
it's so important because you have your emails, you have your people on your list already from your booking sites, all
Hmm.
that kind of stuff. These are the people who have already worked with you and are essentially hot leads. They're already have been in your chair, they want to work with
Right.
you, or they're interested in working with you. So for you to send out a monthly email to say, hey, these are some new services I'm putting out. This is a new promotion I have. This is a new
Hmm.
product I have, putting that out there, they wanna know about it. It's not you're
Right.
not being spammy. They wanna know about what's going on in your salon,
Exactly.
or they need that reminder to be like, "Oh, right, I haven't got my hair done in, like, 3 months. Maybe I should
Exactly.
book in," right? Because people are busy. So just making it as easy as possible for people to book with you is
Hmm.
so, so huge. So that's why I
I
love
agree.
email marketing.
I agree. I've helped some stylists, and it's just like you go on their profile and it's just like, okay, how do I book an appointment? Like, how do I reach you?
Yes.
By the time I send a DM and wait for you, like, dude, I could,
Oh,
find someone else. Like, you
for
have to make
sure.
it easy, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And I think just a matter of like staying in their face, staying, relevant and letting them know, like, hey, I'm still here. Hey, the
Yeah.
holidays are coming up, book in advance, like all those things are essential.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's so important.
So when it comes to the client experience, like we work in a service industry where we have to
Yep,
build these relationships. Are there
yep.
some tips for enhancing the client's experience?
Yeah, I think just making them feel good and having those touch points after too, and like doing
Hmm.
these things automated too. So it's not like
Okay.
it takes up all of your time. So that's again where like these email softwares, these automations can come in place
Hmm.
after they've had their appointment to say, hey, I really hope you like this. Let me know if there's any questions you have. Like just having those touch points in place. Also,
Hmm.
things like appointment reminders too are so beneficial, but
Right.
having really good touch points and connecting with your clients, and also
Hmm.
too, if you have like their information, like maybe you could do birthday cards. That's a little bit more, you have to be on the ball all the time.
Right.
Like holiday cards, just sending them a nice reminder of like, hey, happy holidays from, your favorite hairdresser. You can just,
Right.
those in personal things are so important because it just shows that you do care about your clients. So anywhere that you can make them feel a little bit more special is
Hmm.
going to make their day.
No, I definitely agree. I had a client from maybe like 10 years ago, just recently, like post, I think she was cleaning out a dresser or something, and she posted a card that I had sent her. And it was just saying, thank you for being a client. Like,
Oh,
come on back, here's 10%. Like,
I
those
love
are the essential things that you do and the small things that clients remember. That they're and 10
Yes,
years later, I only do a few clients a week now, but 10 years later, she's still coming to me in a whole new city because she remembered that, those
that
small
is
tokens
so
of
good.
appreciation, right?
Yeah, it really matters. And it's something tangible. And it's like, oh, they went out of their way to do this for
Hmm.
me. How special. Just makes them
Right.
feel really, really good.
No, I agree. Now, when it comes to time management, as
Yeah.
hairstylists, that can be hard, okay? Because someone may show
Mhm.
up late, someone may add on a service. How can we stay on time? How can we be more effective with our time management?
For sure. So I'll start, and you had talked about it a bit before, but what I like to do is create CEO days, or I tell my clients to create
Hmm.
CEO days. So having a day where you're working on your admin is going to be so huge. Like doing your QuickBooks, doing your bookkeeping,
Hmm.
batching social media,
Right.
really making sure that you're having that time to do all those little tasks. So you don't have to think about it throughout the week when you are doing clients. You can batch your social media, and
Yeah.
you think that we have to post all the time, but you have
No.
so many pictures. You can pre-batch it, schedule it out for the week, and then you don't even need to think about it for the rest of the week. Maybe all
Hmm.
you need to do is pop on your stories and just check in. But I think that is so beneficial having those set admin days,
Hmm.
especially if you own your own business, you own your
Oh,
own
yeah.
salon. You need to have that time where you set aside to work on that kind of stuff, or else it's gonna feel
Oh,
overwhelming and you're
yeah.
gonna feel like, it's too
Like a
much and you
chicken with
wanna
your head
give
cut
up.
off, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So, yeah, and then too, I would say automate. Automate whatever you
Okay.
can. So if that's your booking system, your emails, scheduling your social media posts, but automating wherever you can is gonna save you so much time.
Gotcha. Now, do you have any favorite tools or automation sites or whatnot to help with management?
Yeah. For sure. So one of my favorite ones for social media is Later. It's a
Okay.
really great feature. It can post to multiple different places if you want. You can add your hashtags in, your captions, you put your pictures in. It can do carousels, all that kind of stuff. You can
Okay.
do like a week or a month's worth of posts, and then you
Hmm.
just schedule it and you set it and forget it, and
Nice.
you don't even have to think about it again. So, and then two, I would just say like your booking systems, like get
Hmm.
out of the booking in the DMs, making sure you're having a
Right.
software system, because they're so beneficial too, because there's so many reports that you get with that and just
Mhm.
so much information that you can gather by using a booking site. And it's going to save you so much time in the long run.
No, I definitely agree. And that's the biggest thing is that we need to save ourselves that time because we are working hands-on. It's
Yes,
impossible for me to answer the phone, take down your appointment. It's like, no, I just need you to automatically be able to do it, right? Just a click away,
exactly.
and I'll
Yeah,
see it
make it as
later once it pops
easy
up.
as possible. Yeah, you want to make it
Right?
so easy for people to book with you.
Okay. Now, in your experience, how will you say technology has changed like the beauty industry and the way we run our businesses, the way we're getting clients? Like it's impacted our business greatly, right?
Oh, it's huge. And this is the thing. We have these things that can do these automations. We have tools like AI that can
Hmm.
help you write your captions
Oh my
now, which is
gosh, that's a game
incredible.
changer.
Right?
Right?
So, like, really utilizing these things that we have, because we're so fortunate that we do have this tech
Hmm.
that does make our businesses run smoothly and more automated. And, like just being able to use those things, doing a
Hmm.
little bit of research or finding somebody who has used them to teach you how to do it is going to
Right?
be so beneficial because you're going to save so much time in the long run.
No, I definitely agree. It's just like I've been using, Chat GPT, and it's just like, oh my gosh,
Oh,
where was this like
oh,
5 years ago? Right?
right?
It's just like
Yeah,
I'll never have to think again. you
I
know?
know, it's amazing.
It's definitely amazing. So, you have to adapt to the trends. Like, it's a part of life.
Yeah.
Like, I've met stylists and they're like, "Oh, I don't really wanna be on social media." It's like, "No, you kinda have to,"
Yeah, and
or find
it's
someone to help you.
exactly, and now too, like, with all this tech, with all this like, it's made in a way that it makes it easier for us to show up. We don't
Right?
have to do all the little things, and I think too, one of the main things is repurpose your content. We're creating
Mhm.
content all the time, so come up with something that you can repurpose. So, maybe
Right.
if you're doing a blog post, use that blog post, put it in your newsletter, use
Mhm.
that stuff from the blog to put on your posts every week on your social media, like, really repurposing all the content that we're creating so then you don't have to, come up with a new thing all the time and just, yeah, being able to use that in a more streamlined way is so important.
No, I agree. Now, in a world where there are a million hairstylists, there are a million salon owners, how do we create our own identity brand? How do we stand out? How do we stay true to our authentic selves? Because I mean, you look online and you see somebody with a million followers, and you're like, I want to be like them. Like, how do we stay true to ourselves when it comes to our brand identity?
I love that. I love that so much because it is so important to be authentic to ourselves and to show up. And
Hmm.
that's what I was talking about too. Like, in order to showcase that, you need to show up in your business. But I
Hmm.
think things too, like branding yourself and creating a brand around yourself, because then when you create a brand around yourself, you can really change it from, okay, I am a hairstylist. Now I want to maybe teach hairstylists.
Hmm.
Your business can change along the way. But if you have that
Exactly.
branding and if you're branding yourself, it's going to build up over time. So really just focusing on what your core values are,
Hmm.
who you are, how you want to show up, who you want to work with, and really keeping that in mind. And then you can get really fun with it too. Like, okay, what are my brand colors or what are my
Right.
brand fonts? What's my logo look like,
Hmm.
right? And just really showcasing that because that creates that brand recognition when they start seeing these specific colors with you or these fonts or what kind of I don't know, emoticons or whatever, right? Like,
Right.
just branding yourself is so important, and it's fun. It
It
makes
is
all of
fun.
this a lot of fun, right?
It
So
is fun, yeah,
just
because you get
yeah,
to showcase yourself. You get to share that with
yeah,
everybody. It's like
yeah,
nobody can be you but you,
exactly.
from you, you know?
Yeah, and that's your superpower. That's what you should be using to showcase yourself to the world, right?
Yeah,
It's so much fun.
right. Now, Jessica, you mentioned superpower. So
Uh-huh.
everyone that comes on the show, I have to ask them, what is your entrepreneurial superpower?
I love that. So my superpower is really helping you create a business that works smarter, not harder. So helping you with
Mm,
these automations, helping you with this goal setting, with your budgeting, all that stuff that I had mentioned in the 5M method. I just want you to create a business that's so sustainable and that just runs on autopilot. You don't
mhm,
like you need to put in the work to do the things, but that's on your
right,
CEO days and then everything else is in the clear. So it's not so stressful and overwhelming. So
right, and I think that makes life easier, right?
oh, yes, and then you have more of that life business balance, right? Like, you're not so focused just on building the business. You're really creating a life and a business that you love, which
Exact
is just I love, love, love that.
right? That's the goal.
Oh, yes. That's what we're
Right.
aiming for.
Now, I want to make sure that, everyone's able to find you, connect with you. Can you share with us anything you have going on or where we can follow you at?
Yeah, for sure. So you can follow me. I'm most active on Instagram, so it's at
Okay.
the Jessica Patton. I am starting to do free monthly master classes. So right now I actually have the goal setting one app and it
Okay.
walks you through the goal setting process using the life wheel and it's so much fun. This is a process that I do also one-on-one with people if you're really
Okay.
wanting to dive into how to create your goals for 2024 for quarterly. I love to set goals quarterly, so if that's something that you're really interested in, definitely reach out because that's something I love helping people with.
Okay.
And then I do VIP days too, so then in those we really dive into different areas of your business that you're wanting to work on and dive into and just make more streamlined and easy.
Awesome. I absolutely
Yeah.
love that. Well, I just want to say thank you so much for coming on the show today. I love all the information that you shared. I am sure it's going to be a game changer for a lot of people, especially with the new year. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. This was so much fun. It was so much fun
Thank
chatting with
you.
you.
All right. Have an awesome day.
You too.